Hello and welcome to my AG project, creating custom muscular systems for custom rigs. The first problem was, which was the best way to create a simulated muscle? So I started with a custom bone muscle, which is pretty much just a bone with an end nub on it, with an extra helper with the end nub connected to the helper. What you do is you pretty much edit the bone so it's in the shape of a muscle, attach the top to where the top of the muscle would be, and attach the helper, drag down the helper so it would stretch the bone down to the bottom of the arm, as you can see here. It would be able to be used for not only where the biped is, which creates a natural stretch and squish, but also on the neck to help with any stretching issue there, and on the leg. The leg wasn't skinned at this point, but you can see how it would work with the squash and stretch. This was the skin morph muscle. This was using just the skin, a normal biped, and then adding skin morph to it. It's pretty much like when the two bones are at a certain angle, the bulge will be created so far out. As you can see here, with the skin morph being activated in orange and unactivated when it's white, you can see the difference between the normal skinning and with skin morph. This created natural muscles, but unfortunately with this one it wasn't as automated as the others. It was more manual. You had to connect it yourself to how far you thought it would go out. It was less squash and stretch, and more just manual guessing work. It wasn't my favorite of all the techniques I tried, but it was a good attempt. This is physique muscles. It's very similar to the skin modifier. This uses physique instead of skinning. So you use physique to connect it to the biped, and it has extra features like bulge. And what bulge does is when you have the arms in a certain angle, like there, again, just like the skinning, you get the bulge. They're able to bulge out. And on the hand as well, it also makes for great muscles in between fingers. It naturally does the bulging, as well as having extra bulge that you're able to add on. Yet again, with this, it's more manual work than it is squash and stretch. Although this is probably less manual work compared to the skinning modifier. This is the cat muscles, and the file corrupted, so I had to create this video again. So I just started from making the cat muscles on this and how I made them. This is not the cat muscle, it's the cat strand, shall I say even. And pretty much it has 4 helpers, 2 which are connected on the ends of the cat strand, and 2 which are going off from that, which look at targets for those cat strands, and it morphs the size of the muscle. As you can see here, I'm just setting up the muscle, and that's the arm setup. You generally have to make it smaller than that, then expand, but I was just quickly doing this. And so you can see here, this is the cat muscle itself, and in the end, this broke in game, I found out. That's later on. It's quite nice for if it's outside in normal areas, such as just pre-renders and stuff, but trying to get it into game, it's a nightmare and will break. Generally, the cat muscle is used for shoulders, underneath the shoulders, the neck, stomach, just to flatten out the skinning. As you can see what it's doing there, it's just making kind of like a panel. This is the cat muscle in action. As you can see, the bulge being created automatically by the cat muscle there. When the cat muscle is contracted, it expands. When the cat muscle expands, the muscle. After this step came the next problem, was how to implement it into game and if it was possible. These are all the ones I attempted in UDK, which didn't go so well. Physique muscles never translated over. They just never exported themselves. Oh well, it exported the skinning but did not export the bulge. so it left it without all its unique muscles. Skin morph, that also did the same. It didn't export the actual skin morph itself, but it did export the skin. So even turning off the rotation did nothing in the end, and just left it kind of useless. And I'm just messing around with the rotation modifier there. The bone tool, well, stretchy bones don't translate into UDK, so the custom bone didn't work. As you can see, like, the secondary line away from the arm isn't moving. The bottom piece isn't moving, it's staying the same length, which meant that in the end, the whole bone didn't create the squashing scratch effect that was wanted. Also ruining that piece in UDK. This was the cat muscle, probably the worst, which was it all just exploded. It didn't go right anywhere on this, and although it was a very quick skin, and it was a very weird bip that I added to the skinning to get into UDK, it didn't work, it all exploded. Now this was my attempt in Unity. This was the cat again, and first attempt, it didn't actually add the body to the skinning at all, so I had to go and reattempt that. I was thinking it might not work, but I gave it another attempt later on. The custom bone muscle, it translates the skinning, but the stretchingness never translated. Physique, yet again, all of the physique bulge didn't translate over, so it was all looking pretty similar to last time and looking like it might not work in game, and I might just have to go with an out-of-game pre-renders of the dragon with animations. The skin morph also did the same, leaving me with what seemed to be no options. And as you can see there, just nothing, no muscles, no skin morphing happening. So it looked pretty bad and like it wasn't going to work in game at this current time. However, when I did take Cat back in, I noticed that the strand muscles, as you can see here, if you ignore the skinning on the right hand, just on the left arm, as you see, he bends his, his right arm even, and his right arm is also expanding as well at the same time. At this point, I had ramped up the actual bulging muscle, just so I could make sure that, like, you could actually see it in there, that it was working. And unfortunately, it seemed like cat itself wasn't going to work. So I tried without the cat model. I tried with bones, and this is just a bone rig with the cat muscle added on. There's one down to the middle, one bone down from the middle, and then the cat muscle is added on to the bottom as if it was a biped. So I finally found a success. With this success, I took to modeling the dragon. And yeah, I just pretty much got the muscles that I thought most stood out, which would be the quadriceps and the quads and the triceps. And the rig was done, and all that was left was to take it into Unity and test out some movements. But then I found out that the cat, although the cat strands worked, the cat muscles, however, do not. And that messed up the skinning in lots of places, meaning I had to go back and reskin a lot. So I went back to muscles in game, and this is just the final rig. You can see here the skin, the muscles, the bones. This is without the bones, and you can see what the muscles, well, the strands are doing. After the rig was remade, I used animations to show it off, which was a test, a walk, a hover, and a flying. That was just in the preview, and this is actual in-game footage right here. As you can see, the dragon is moving his arms and his legs, and this is just rotation on the actual forearms and lower legs, which shows movement in the upper arm, which wouldn't usually be there. This is all extra added motions which are connected to arms, which increase the quality, I believe, in animations, and I feel like it's a better effect. If I had a lot longer time to skin, or if I hadn't ended up with that skinning issue on the wings, I would have had a lot better skinning in the end, but unfortunately this was a very high model, a high poly model, and if I'd gone and got a lower poly, I would have been able to remake it very quick. With all of the muscles, you get an extra added effect just everywhere really. Instead of the stomach, which would usually collapse in on itself, when it stretches out, it actually has a bulge there sometimes, like you can see here, which is a nice extra added effect. It's small, and it's very hidden, to say the least, this. But I do enjoy muscles on the rigs, and I believe it's definitely the way to go, and definitely worth the time if you can, well, if you use the cat muscle strand way, or if they make a better solution in the future. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found this information useful.